welcome to my channel. This class is going to be about self-portraits. I selected 3 artists that will be our inspiration for this class. Rembrandt, Käthe Kollwitz and Frida Kahlo. So each one of them approached self-portraits in a different way. I'm going to talk about them and share some of his works. Then I will share the exercises with you. And at the end I will show some of my drawings, some self-portraits that I've made to inspire you to create your own work. Let's get started. Rembrandt's self-portraits are some of the most remarkable in art history, not only for their technical brilliance but for their profound humanity. Over the course of his life, he painted, drew and etched more than 80 self-portraits, creating what feels like a visual autobiography. In his early works, he presents himself with youthful confidence, sometimes even in costume, experimenting with light, expression, and painterly technique. As he aged, his self-portraits grew more introspective and raw, etched with wrinkles, sagging skin, and the weight of personal losses and financial struggles. His mastery of light and shadow, chiaroscuro, reveals not just the physical features of his face, but also a deep sense of mood and character. Through his works, Rembrandt offers a rare and intimate window into the passage of time, the vulnerability of the human condition, and the artist's own evolving identity. Käthe Kollwitz's self-portraits are powerful studies of honesty and emotion, stripped of vanity and artifice. Working mostly in drawing, etching, and lithography, she returned to her own image again and again, not as a way to celebrate herself, but as a way to explore grief, resilience, and the weight of lived experience. Her portraits are marked by strong, expressive lines and a stark use of light and shadow, often emphasizing her forward brow and deeply searching eyes. Unlike many artists who idealize their appearance, Kollwitz presents herself unflinchingly and even harshly, as if to insist on truth over beauty. Created during times of personal loss and social upheaval, these works reveal not only her inner struggles but also her deep empathy for humanity's suffering. Through them, Kollwitz transforms the self-portrait into a vessel of both personal and collective emotion. Frida Kahlo's self-portraits are some of the most iconic images of the 20th century, blending realism with symbolism to tell the story of her inner world. After a bus accident left her with lifelong pain and isolation, Kahlo turned the mirror into both her studio and her confessional, painting herself again and again. In these works, she doesn't just record her appearance, she surrounds herself with animals, plants, cultural symbols, and surreal elements that reveal her identity, her struggles, and her passions. With her direct gaze and unflinching honesty, Kahlo asserts control over how she is seen, transforming personal suffering into universal imagery. Her self-portraits are not simply likeliness, but acts of storytelling, weaving together themes of pain, resilience, identity, and Mexican heritage. And now the exercises. I selected 3 exercises. Each one of them is based on a different artist that I presented. So we start with Rembrandt using an A4 sheet of paper and it will take about an hour. The idea is for you to set up a mirror and draw yourself with just a desk lamp. So the idea is for you to work light and shadow, no details, just try to capture the mood. Then the second self-portrait is based on Käthe Kollwitz, and the idea is for you to work on an A3 sheet of paper. If you use charcoal, if you use pencil, you can use an A4 sheet of paper. It takes around 45 minutes and the idea is to make quick marks and bold marks as well. The idea is for you to focus on emotion, so for example you can use ants to help you express what you're feeling, as she makes in several of her drawings. You can also pay attention to the expression of the eyes, if they are wide open, if they are a little bit more closed, the expression of the mouth as well. So pay attention to those little expressions that say a lot about what you are feeling. And the third exercise is based on Frida Kahlo's work, so we are going to add symbols to our self-portrait. The idea is for you to work on an A3 sheet of paper and to take about an hour and 15 minutes, as is a more complex drawing. So the idea is for you to make a self-portrait, draw yourself, and add symbols around your self-portrait as she does. So think about an animal, plants, objects or patterns that mean something to you and add them to your drawing. And now let me show you some of my drawings. Let's start with this first one. I worked with oil pastels here using complementary colors, purple and yellow. I kept the details minimal, focusing instead on broad areas of shadow across the face. There's a strong light coming from the window behind me, and I love how that creates this striking contrast. Then I have some quick sketches I made on my sketchbook. Here are some more drawings, this time using Indian ink. They are made just with lines and tones, one after another, almost like a visual sprint. It was an intensive session, and I think you can feel the rhythm and energy in the marks. These are graphite pencil on Bristol paper. Some don't resemble me exactly, but in some cases that's not really the point. I was more invested in the mark making. I use layers of lines to sculpt the face, paying attention to the eye sockets and eyelashes. I used to overlook these details, but I've realized they make such a difference. I also thought more about composition. Instead of leaving the head floating in space, I filled the entire sheet. It changes the impact completely, as you can see in some of the drawings. This one is one of my favorites. I feel like I captured the emotion that I was feeling. And look, I added the details, the eyelashes, the eye sockets, and so on. Also made the eyes bigger and my nose smaller. I tend to draw my nose much bigger, and I changed it and I think it works. I think this one is a very strong drawing. It has all the mark making that I mentioned before. It has the framing. It has big eyes and small nose. I think it has impact, this drawing. Then this was the first one I made of this session. Actually, I made them all one after the other. This one was the first. As you can see, it doesn't have that mark making, those details in the eyes. Yeah. Then we move into gouache. This one is a tonal drawing exploring the balance between light and dark. In this next one, I feel I really captured the emotion I was feeling at the time. I love the color combination, oranges, blues, pinks working together in a way that it feels both warm and vibrant. This one uses complementary colors, again, purple and yellow. And again, this one uses the same colors. I also painted the background and even covered part of the chin because I was happy with it. That decision ended up giving it a very different mood, almost like the figure is sinking into the background. For me, it captured exactly what I was feeling, like being submerged in heavy emotions. Oh, and finally, here's my attempt at oil on canvas. This piece went through so many versions. I rubbed, I smudged, reworked it endlessly, which is why it has this muddy quality. But the main features are still there, and despite the messiness, I enjoyed the process. And the class has come to an end. I hope that you had enjoyed it. If so, click the button below, leave a comment with suggestions and with your thoughts about this idea of making self-portraits. If you created drawings and you post them on Instagram, make sure to tag me so I can see your work. If you want to keep watching more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.